live here for Tuesday Talks. Now, Tuesday Talks is all about getting to know an individual, finding out what makes them tick, what do they care about, how their career reflects that, and what motivates them to keep going. Now, today's guest we have is Carlos Alcala. I hope I am pronouncing Carlos' surname correct. If not, I am sure he will correct it for us. So I'm just going to invite Carlos on. I see you there, Carlos. Let me just invite you up.
We
Hi,
go.
Carlos. Hello. Hi,
Hello.
Carlos. How are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am amazing. Thank you very much for taking the time out and joining on Tuesday Talks to share your journey.
Mm.
Now, usually I do like a short introduction in the beginning, which I obviously didn't do this time because I felt like I was already speaking to you because we were earlier in a little workshop already, right? So the community thing. But just for the people on audience who don't know you, if you could do a short introduction in terms of, who you are, what you do, and the biggest question that kicks off Tuesday Talks every time is, why do you do it, Carlos?
Definitely. So thank you very much, Suzanne, for inviting me to Tuesday Talks. And yeah, I'm super honored to be here today. So about me, there is a video that I posted on another of my accounts called Carlito Fluito, where I explain how Naval Ravikant.
And the biggest question that kicks off Tuesday Talks
Yeah.
every time is, why do you do it,
Sorry.
Carlos? I think we got external sound coming up. There we
Yeah,
go.
there we go. So answering your question about who am I and why I do what I do, Naval Ravikant speaks about the idea of having like three domains or three skills, and a person becoming top 5% or top 1% by combining these three domains. Because being the best at one single thing is really difficult. Because this is like if you do basketball, then you need to be better than Michael Jordan, right? So that's gonna be like really
Yes.
difficult. But when you combine three domains or three skills, then it's really easy to become characteristic and unique, right? So in my personal case, my three domains is psychology, and I specialize in positive psychology and spirituality. And my second domain is performing arts, and I did dance and theater. I'm the founder of a physical theater company. And my third domain is around online businesses and marketing and how to implement AI also into the business. So the combination of these three domains, which for me is the mind, the soul, the body, and the finance is very important, is the creation of Playing Camp. And Playing Camp
Mm,
is an environment, is a workshop and experience that I facilitate where participants and we co-create this experience that has the aim of connecting us with our inner child and have joyful connections in nature, where we connect with ourselves, we connect with each other, and we connect with the environment through plays, through games, and through being in the present moment. And so far, I have heard really good feedback, like 10 out of 10 experience, and how transformative and healing is for people. So why do I do it? I do it because it's fun, and I do it because I found my life purpose after many years of experimenting with different things, and it's so complementary, it's so holistic that I believe like me and Playing Camp are made out for each other. Like a Playing Camp would need
wow.
a facilitator that has so much energy and enthusiasm and passion and positive energy as I do, as well as I need an activity like Playing Camp to keep myself focused, motivated, and connecting with people and having fun. Yeah.
I really love this story. How you've introduced the three dimension because we always focus on that one, right, and try to perfect it and be better at it. I mean, I don't know anybody who can perfect a certain skill because you always have to keep learning and being better at it. But yeah, and I love the three dimensional of including all other aspects of it so that you can become better and I don't know, superhuman in all the aspects of things around you, right? Because you can handle yourself from any aspect of life, whether that's in your case, the business side of things, and you've got your playfulness side of thing, and your with the dance academy and everything, and then also the third domain, and so and I love your why as well, and I wanted to go a little bit more deeper into the playing camp and the purpose behind that playing camp that came about. How did that came about?
So there are several stories for playing camp. There are like the longest story, which has like 3 moments in time. Then there is the story that is public on the playing camp Instagram profile, and then there is that's the short one, and then there is a medium-sized story. So how long do you want the story?
Whichever you're comfortable with sharing now.
So because the short one is already public on Instagram, which is the story about how I was in Africa and I was seeing kids play, I'm going to tell the longest story, which had 3 parts. One is the first, the origin, and then the last one. So the origin is with this physical theater company that I founded. It was called Raining Rosas, and there was one part within the training. So we created an online course, and we divided the online course in 5 parts, which was the theory, the warm up, the boot ground, playing camp, and consolidation. So playing camp was this part within the online course, which was oriented for performing artists, dancers, theater, and circus, into how, through games, the performing artists could develop their performing skills, they could train the performing skills, as well as they could accelerate the creative process. So they could discover new things that they want to include into the creations. And that was playing camp at the beginning. Later on, when I was in Africa, that's the story that is on Instagram, I was too much focused on the NGO and also the business of Raining Rosas. So I spent a lot of time on the computer, and I was spending a lot of time on the office. And at some point I was like, I cannot do this anymore. And I was going to the street, and I was just looking at the kids play. And the kids in Africa, they play on the street, they play on the ground, they play with each other, and they play with nothing virtually. They play with trash. Like they play with bottles, they play with boxes, they play with bricks. So for me, it was
whatever's available.
Exactly, available. And this is one of the concepts of playing camp, available assets. So for me, it was so enlightening and so powerful. Like these are probably the poorest human beings of the planet. Because if you are a kid, you don't have money. But if you are a kid in a low income area, it's like you, your family, your mother, you don't have any money, anything. And still, play something so fundamental to human nature, and play something so powerful that we all as a human beings play. And the question is like, for a reason that we are not sure of, some why we stop playing. And that was for me the striking thing, like where in our development we stop playing. Why? And for some people it happens earlier than others. Because if you are a kid from a difficult family, then your family is making pressure on you, so you need to grow up faster, and you need to man up, and you need to be serious, and then you stop playing. And for me, it was like, okay, but playing is this so powerful activity that helps you to develop new skills, like new mental skills, new psychological skills, new body skills, new levels of awareness, new ways of socializing with other people, and to relate with your environment. And the magic of play is that it brings a lot of joy into our lives. So the moment that I start joining these kids on the street to the game, then more and more kids start joining as well. And I discovered like just by playing, you make your day-to-day happy, you make the people around happy, and then you increase this sense of community, which is lost in many occasions in the self-development world. Like we are always focused on me, how can I improve, how can I do this, how can I grow? But sometimes for me it's like, no, but what if we can grow as a community? What if we focus on healing our relationships? And I have found that play is a very powerful thing to healing relationships. So from this Africa, then I went to Europe, and I started to host these playing camp experiences and to run the workshops, but not so many people attend. And this is where I focus on making money, on making the business, and learning all these online skills, and learning sales, and learning negotiation, and learning how to communicate and how to spread my message. So last year, the AI appeared, and I was living in Bali. I was working in at Selling with Love, and the AI appeared, and I got really obsessed with the AI. Like, okay, how can we do this, 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 this? And I got so obsessed that I started thinking, okay, once everybody start implementing AI, once AI will be into robots, once
Mm.
people stop working because they don't have a job anymore, like I ask myself, like, what are people going to do? And to me, it struck me like so powerful because it was like we are all going to have this meaning crisis, like why are we alive? Why are we in this planet? Once the robots basically fed us and they do all the job that supposedly give us meaning to our life, people
Mm-hmm.
will enter into a deep truth of being alive, which is what is my mission in life if the supposed mission that I had to do is already done, right?
Yes.
And this is where I had different approaches. For me, it was like, okay, exploring consciousness, and I have different projects on the side. And talking with my therapist, I told him all this project, and he asked me, but what do you want to do for pleasure? Imagine that all these projects are done. Imagine that everything is done. Like, what do you really want to do just for pleasure, for fun, for life? And I told him, like, then I will throw parties and I will play with people and I will have fun. And he asked me, like, and why don't you start doing that instead of all these 20 projects that you have on your mind? And it hit me so hard. It hit me so hard that I was like, you are so, so, so right. So I reconnected again with playing camp, and I believe again in the power of playing camp. And since then, this happened in May in Bali.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, I started organizing a pillow fight because that was my favorite game when I was a kid. I loved to do pillow fights with my family and my brothers. And after that, I organized like more experiences. Like on the beach, we went to the beach and we started exploring. And then we rented a house and we did a retreat in a house. And I went to Thailand and I hosted another playing camp. And then I was hosting more and more. And then it came the moment of Mind Valley U, where I totally found out that this is a very powerful, very healing practice, and everybody that experiences it just love it so, so much. So next step, bringing it to more environments into this planet. Yeah.
Uh, that is so brilliant, and you bringing it to Mind Valley U, because I was there and I took part in the few, I will say, impromptu sessions that I came across, because in the beginning of the very first one I was like lost. I'm like, what did I just walked into? Because there was like people just doing, so there were some quiet ones, there were some noisy ones as well, but the quiet ones were like the more strange one, because you actually don't know what's happening, and the everybody in the group will look at you, so now you need to do something different, or walk up to somebody else and like now get them to join you without talking or anything. It was actually, yeah, it was fun. And I think we also played with the plants, and we have a group of us, and I know Sahara Rose joined us as well in one of us. I was in that group as well, so I was like, wow. So, and we had to make some of these weird noises, and I was like, okay, it feels weird at the same time, just because you're thinking with an adult mind. That's why, right? Once you switch that mind off, I was like, wow, that is the best fun ever, because that I stopped listening to the adult mind. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? What were don't make these noises. And 100% agree that playing is another level. And also it keeps you in a happy mode, and it's also I'm sure there's a scientific proof somewhere that the more you're laughing, the more happy you are, the less diseases, infection, whatnot, illnesses come to you as well, because your body is energetic enough to sustain itself and fight whatever that is, right? So I'm looking at that side as well. And imagine if everybody's around you is happier as well. That's just another level, right? Already. So I really love that, and I love that. Obviously, you found that calling and you went back to it, because I think that was your calling from throughout since beginning. You just had to experience all the other things so that you can come back to it and take it to the next level, which is brilliant. When you're doing this now, what was the common theme that you came across from people, let's say, who were not open to playing camp at the beginning? You know, they're like, oh, what is
Yeah.
this?
So I'm going to refer to the experience that you mentioned, the one with Sahara Rosé, for example. That was really clear to me, like how quickly people can jump into it, right? Like because I remember that that session lasted 3 minutes, I believe,
Yes,
like not
yes.
longer. And that was the question that I was asking to so many people in Mind Valley University, which was like, are you open and available for a 3 minutes playing camp experience? And now two people said like, I don't know what this is, but it's only 3 minutes, so I'm gonna try. And this is where, depending on how playful the people is, and also how much experience do they have into the domains of theater, specifically improv theater, as well as these beliefs around, being a hippie, being connected with the nature and spirituality, how easy is for them to enter into the play state.
Mm,
Because
mm,
in playing camp is always this first rule, which is like we are not going to communicate linguistically, so we are not going to speak, but we can communicate in any other way. And this is, for me, this is the magic and this is the trick, right? So for all of those that want to do playing camp around the world, just so you know, I'm offering a training to facilitate the experiences. And the trick is don't let people talk. Because when they stop talking, they stop thinking. And this is really powerful. A lot of people have told me like, it's weird at the beginning, as you said, but after 2 hours, they told me, wow, there is years and years and years since I don't spend 2 hours of my life without thinking. This is
mm,
therapy. This is healing. And and that day with Sahara, I know that Sahara does improv theater also, and Sahara is like really into spirituality and nature and connected. So for her was so quickly, and I love it because that's what I find. Like she was really proactive in the proposals. So that's like the P in playing camp stands for proactive proposals.
mm.
Every participant is invited to came up with new games, with new things to do, new activities. So the rest of the group, once they understand the game, they can jump into it. And that's one profile that I find, which is the person that understands the game and they jump into it and they start creating. And sometimes I find people that are more community oriented, so they want everyone playing the same game. Sometimes I find people that are more individual and they want to run or climb a tree and they don't care about what everyone else is doing. And at the other end, I find both, like more introverted types, because playing is like life, no? What is your personality, and that shows
Yes.
up into the play. So in the more introverted type of people, then there are people that it's difficult for them to play, or they just want to play alone, or they just want to observe nature, or they just want to play with one person and just to feel each other or to do a small action with each other. So it really depends on the person. And for me, that's the coaching healing aspect of the experience, which is how are you playing throughout the
Mm.
experience? What were the games that you played or you didn't play? And what were the limits that you put to yourself? Because nobody's telling you what you can do or what you cannot do. You're free to go and climb the tree, or you're free and go isolating yourself, or you're free to jump
Wow.
into the middle of the group. And that's the question that I like to do in the reflection at the end, which is what happened and why it happened like this in your personal case. Yeah.
I, I really love that question at the end as well. You know, like what happened, and to see, because you are going through. I mean, I definitely did go through few emotions while this was happening. I was like, you know, you're up and down, and then you're like, you know what? Let's just give ourselves all in. As soon as I accepted that, it something else takes over, and as you said, your personality comes out. If you're, you know, if you are an introvert, you just want to watch, you are watching, but you're there, observing and do it. Yeah, but so it's an amazing concept that obviously you are running with and making it available to all us playing camp. I just look at it, it's like being at the park when you were kids, right? That's exactly, if the guys who are watching us live at the moment were in Mind Valley University, I'm sure you will resonate with it. It was like what being at the park, you know, as kids. People around us were just doing all the random stuff, running around, and group of friends, and you'll find all the characters there. So, and you describing them as well was amazing. So, question comes to yourself now, right? So, when you are as an entrepreneur now as well, how was that journey for you in terms of being an entrepreneur? Did you now had to change your mindset, to obviously you have to wear a few hats? How did that work out for you? Was anything that you'd like to share for a future entrepreneur who's listening to us?
So first thing is being an entrepreneur, as far as I have experience, is a journey that is never finished, right? Because there are different levels later and different challenges. For me, mindset was really powerful. So my main source of information at the beginning, it was Sam Owens, which is like a kind of OG in the world of online coaching. And the mindset was really powerful because I used to have a lot of limiting beliefs about money, about business, about selling, about building things, about what can I do or what cannot I do, about being the expert or not. Like my background was in science. Like I was doing a PhD on psychology of religion and spirituality. Actually, the title of my PhD is the morality of how was it? The human morality in nature, basically, like exposure to nature. Like how does exposure to nature affect human morality? So basically, playing camp is that.
There you go.
It's a manifestation of that, So I'm doing my PhD, but now it's funnier because back then I burn out and I have a lot of limiting beliefs and it wasn't very enjoyable. So for entrepreneurs, yeah, always learn and apply. For me, those are the two key things. Like have self-awareness into yourself, have awareness into your business, and very quickly detect what is not working, right? And once you detect what is not working, it's always the solution-oriented mindset, which is like, okay, this area is not working. How can I fix it? And there is many ways of fixing it, which is like you fix it or you pay someone to fix it. In many occasions, at least for a lot of entrepreneurs, the main problem is money. And quoting Naval Ravikant again, is like you either know how to build or you know how to sell. And if you know both, then you're unstoppable. Mm-hmm. In my personal case, I was really good building because I built this online course and I've been always like teaching things on the university and creating things. I'm an artistic person, so I'm a creative. So sales was my main limitation. What do I do? Then I joined Selling with Love because what better way of learning than when you get paid for? So there is this myth a bit of be an entrepreneur and do everything yourself and just continue your own path and quit your job and do your own thing. But what if you can join someone that is so good at what they do that you just hack? We were speaking today about in the community of how we are the main characters of this game and we can upgrade our own character by learning new skills. And the skill that I needed to learn was sales. So I joined a guy that resonated with me, which was Jason at Selling with Love. Now, this is secret, okay? And I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to say anything else. I am applying for a job with a very famous content creator because I have found on myself that I can improve a lot the type of content that I create. And apart from that, once you start developing a relationship with that person, your net worth is your network. This is also for entrepreneurs.
100%. Yes.
So who do you know and what doors that person can open to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good takeaway for definitely all the future entrepreneurs or current entrepreneurs who are listening to us. Definitely to take that away. Your net worth is your net worth, and who do you know that is able to like open the doors for you. So definitely, and I love the fact that obviously you're not shying away from actually doing work for them, right? Like, because some entrepreneurs, when they become entrepreneurs, they're like, no, I'm not going to the other side anymore. That door is shut, but I agree 100%. You need to keep that door open still because you need to dip in and out of that world, just for learning purposes as well.
Yeah, if I can add something, Jason said this thing, like when you get a job, you are closing maybe a $100,000 contract because you are working for 1 year with one person, and
Yes.
they might pay you 100K per year, and so then you just close a really nice sale with a very nice client.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go. I love this. So, and following up on this is okay. What kind of you routine or habit, or some people like to even call it rituals that you have? Do you do certain things in the morning? Close. How do you close your day?
I
How do
love
you
it.
sustain it? Yeah.
So, for those that are curious and they want to explore my, actually, no, I'm going to make it really easy for you. For those that join the community of Playing Camp, part of my application for this job, I wrote a resume, like a CV, as well as a cover letter. In the cover letter, I was writing my personal story as a creative. So within that story, I have included all videos from my YouTube accounts. So one of them is a documentary that I filmed in 2017 when I started with a PhD and I was living in Brussels. In that epoch of my life, that era of my life, I was really much into routines and development and journaling and yoga, stretching, meditation, cold showers, everything, everything. Believe me,
Wow.
the video is really fun to watch. so, so you can find documentary Carlito Fluito and you will laugh. Now, what I'm at the moment, and I was speaking about this today as well, is not so much about the routine, but it's more about obsession. I
Mm,
found an Instagram account that I would love to quote, but I'm going to misquote it. It's Zach or something like that, which this person speaks a lot about being obsessed. Because when you are obsessed, there is no need of a routine, because it's like
mm,
you wake up and you know that you have to work on something. There is this one that I have not yet implemented, but when I do it, it works wonders, which is like before you go to sleep, you write down what you need to accomplish next day. So once you wake up,
wonderful.
yeah, you just go straight to it. And also, today when we were talking about vision or goals or what's going to happen in the future, I'm not so preoccupied into set up goals or visions because I'm more in a state where I surrender a bit more into what's
Mm,
coming because you never know what things that are coming are bigger than you can imagine. This is one thing. And at the same time, simultaneously, I'm into the manifestor energy, which is like I'm going to create my reality. And how do I do that? I do that one step at a time. So I have a very clear direction of where do I want to go, and I have a very clear next step that I need to
mm,
take. I always try to manage many simultaneous things going on, but there is always that focus of what is the action, what is the result, what is the thing that I need to do that is going to bring me towards the direction. But
I love that.
I don't have so much of these routines, of these goals, of this stuff. I'm just
Yeah.
moving. Mhm.
But this is like an amazing share for everybody to take away as well. Like, because yeah, we get told of these routines, rituals, so many names for these things. But I love that you share being obsessive with whatever that is that you want to achieve. That is amazing. And then I can just say, yeah, that will definitely happen. And I can actually share that being obsessive part is something recently I've started doing. I'm not a very obsessive person, but because I really want to achieve that, I have like I'll say consciously being obsessive. So I've decided since coming back from Mind Valley U to now walk every day for 2 hours continuously. So I'm walking 2 hours continuously. By the time I come back home, it's 2 hours. So, but I have to do that obsessively. So when I'm sharing with some people, they're like, "Why are you doing this? Why are you doing? Why? You're crazy." I'm like, "But no, I feel like I need to just walk. This is part of my movement because my part of daily routine or work and everything gets me to just sit all day, right? So
Yes.
my walking and exercising is not that much. Even if I go to gym, that's still not that movement. It's maybe a little bit of movement for the arms and maybe here and there, and that's it. Or stretching and that's about it. But walking actually just activates every core muscle that you have in your body because it's now trying to keep up with you walking, right? And so if I'm doing 2 hours, by that time it's like, yeah, it's burned whatever it needs to do, right? It's done it. And so
Um,
yeah, being obsessive is good.
Yeah, but because we are speaking about obsession also, and playing camp and me also, it's all about health and well-being. I'm going to stress fundamentals, right? Which are
Yes.
like sleep, because I'm guilty of this. I'm the first person that sacrifices sleep. The sleep patterns are horrible. Sometimes I drink coffee in the evening and I stay working on the night and all these horrible things that people shouldn't do, but I do. So sleeping, moving, eating. There is this book called Eat, Move, Sleep, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So eating clean, move every day, and the one that I'm good at is play. Well, no, sorry, it's
Play.
people. It's people. It's social. So play kind of brings together the social with the movement when you play with other people.
Mm.
But I believe it's really important to stress this message. Like having a high quality social connection daily is fundamental, because that's something that playing camp fights against, which is loneliness, right? It's loneliness
Mm.
and boredom. So loneliness is lack of connections. So build a lifestyle where you are having at least one high quality connection per day. And boredom connects with the purpose, with what you do. So find something that you're doing that you feel passionate, that you feel motivated. And when you find yourself scrolling through social media, you remind yourself like, is this what I want to do? Or do I want to do something that is better for me and for the plan? Yeah.
Mm. And I love that, and then obviously now uh, linking into the playing camp, obviously because we're talking about obsession, movement, and health and everything. So the playing camp also, even though we are people might listen to us and they think, oh yeah, okay, it's just all about playing and then being happy and then getting those serotonins and all that, but it's part of being healthy and well-being part of side of things as well, right? And you already mentioned that and how we can do it, creating that social circle so that you are not feeling the loneliness which current society has, even though we are well connected due to our all these gadgets that we have around us, but then still there is no in-person connection, and then playing camp is bringing that in. So if people wanted to, find playing camp details, how can they do so? Where they can connect?
Yeah. The Instagram is the place where I'm posting the most and I'm uploading most of the content. The website, playingcamp.com. And reach out if you're interested. I'm building everything at the moment, and I go as fast as I can. As always, it's like I'm running on this treadmill daily. So ideally, when you are joining or when you are checking the website, everything will be well explained and well presented. There is the community that for $10 per month you get to have to jump into a call every month where you are learning how to implement game and play into your life. So the message is life is a game. You are the main character. You are upgrading your skills, and then you are taking the situations in your life as these missions that you need to overcome. And you win when you play with joy. So the more joy you bring into your life, the more you are learning how to enjoy this experience of being alive. So that's the community. Then for people that want to go deeper into it, I'm offering also trainings for facilitators. So if you love playing camp, if you want to do playing camp around the world, then I'm I'm flying myself to your location at the moment. At the moment, I'm flying myself to your location, and we will be training one-on-one during a weekend.
Okay.
Why
Okay.
like that? Because depends a lot on the profile of the person. Some people need to go deeper into the spirituality, some people more into the movement, some people more into the theater maybe, some people more into the philosophy. And finally, if you are a company and you want to bring playing camp into your company or into your festival or into your retreat or your event, then you contact with me directly and we can prepare a proposal for you.
I love that. I love that. And I'll definitely recommend whoever's listening to this now live on Instagram or later on when it's as a version of podcast. Definitely get in touch with it because I have experienced it in Mind Valley U. Obviously, these are the snippets of what it was. They were, but imagine being enrolled into the camp itself. That will be like 10 times the experience what I experienced in Mind Valley U, right? I can already say it. And the community aspect as well is quite brilliant. I was on the call today in that community call, which was brilliant. You took us through the journey of getting us to realize what we can bring to the table as well. At least that was my takeaway. So that in terms of what I can bring to the table, of what I'm expecting from others, and one of my thing was being playfulness, because I believe, I mean, I'm still connected to my inner child. My inner child comes out very quick wherever there is fun to be had, and not being serious, just act as, like a child lost in in a candy store. That's what I am every time when I see something interesting. So I let it go and be. So I love that you brought that to the forefront, at least for me. Different people had different experiences as well, so it was great to hear their takeaways as well. It was amazing. So definitely the community side of things, I believe, is amazing as well. And $10 for a month, and you can have a call to get that guidance is just amazing. So definitely people who are able to do this, recommend to go and do it. I do now ask people, before we wrap this up, we'll be wrapping it up shortly as well. Before we do this, a question that something that you know now, but you would have really appreciated if you had known this in your teenage years.
Teenage.
Yes.
I remember this anecdote, and I will be brief, which is when I changed first time that I moved to another country, I was stressing about finding a flat. Like, oh, I need to go to another country and I don't know how to find a flat, as well as when I was learning how to drive a car. And in both cases, people told me the same. It's like everyone learns how to ride a car. Everyone finds a flat sooner or later. So something that I would love to say to my teenager self would be like, when you have something that you want to do, and when you have a clear vision, it's like trust in your capacity of solving problems that you don't know yet, that you can solve. And this is not mine. Like, I love to quote people. This is from Sam Ovens, actually, from the mindset. And similarly with the car and with the house, it's like, believe that if other people have done it, you can do it. If other people was able to solve this situation, you can do it. It's just a matter of time, skills, and trying things until you find with what resonates with you and the way you want to do the things, how you want to do it. And you don't need to reach these millionaire goals or this, just building a lifestyle that resonates with your soul, that you're enjoying every one of your days, and that you are still moving forward to improving the quality of your being. Be it money, be it professional, be it relationships, be it emotions, be it spiritual enlightenment. So trust that you can do it, keep on moving, enjoy the process, play every day, and love humanity daily. For me, that's the three words: love humanity daily. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So that's quite a huge thing to obviously, for the teenage audience who are here to take away with, and you're going to be saying that to your teenage self as well. So now the last big question would be, what would you like to now leave the listeners with, something that you would love them to take away from our conversation today?
But that depends a lot on them, because something. Okay, so then I'm going to say this one: right timing it's like right message, right timing, right person. And this is something for entrepreneurs also, which is sales. You have one message, you have one product, but for some people it's the right time, for some people it's not the right time, and sometimes you are telling it to the right person or not. I might be in a good financial situation to buy this or not, then it's the good of the right time, but I'm the right person because I want to buy it. Or maybe I'm not the right person, even if it's the right time for me. So for your listeners, that could be the message. Like, it might be the right time to listen this. You might be the right person, and this might be the right message. Keep on listening, keep on being aware of what are you in life, and keep on listening to different sources as well, if it's a different type of message. So that's really, my advice. Like, find your right timing, your right person, and your right message.
I really love that. Really love that. So the message I wanted to also leave with everybody is, life is a game and you're the main character. And I love that now. And playing camp is the playground to go and play as a main character. So there you go. So I really love playing camp. Guys, who are listening to us now, I cannot, stress enough the experience I had in MVU of the Mind Valley, and then playing camp. I'll say I will call it a tasters, because they literally, even though some of them were 2 hours long, as Carlos was explaining earlier, the one I attended were like 20 minutes and 30 minutes. And because I don't know what I would have done for 2 hours, but I can imagine the people who were taking part were obviously really, really enjoying it for them to be there for 2 hours, right? It's amazing. Before we now finish this, Carlos, so thank you very much for coming on to Teaser Talk and sharing your journey and the playing camp ethos behind all this as well, which were really interesting for everybody to take away. I wanted to say to everybody who is listening to us now as well, if you had an aha moment by listening to us here, if you had a takeaway moment from us, it's your and our responsibility now to share this episode with whomever came into your mind or you think should be listening to it, because we don't know who's just woken up or gone to bed thinking of a better day, and your aha moment can just maybe spark and something in them as well. So share the episode with them and let them have that aha moment as well. They might have a different one, but who knows? Carlos, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and reiterating what you just said, like, if you know that this is the right message for the right person, then send it, because it might be the right time that they need to listen to this. Yeah.
Exactly. Right, everybody, thank you very much, and we will see you next Tuesday with another amazing guest. Bye-bye.
Ciao.